Welcome to another episode of Chat and Chew. Today's episode is entitled Plant-Powered Protein. What a great topic. And before we dive into that topic, I would love to introduce to you three of my beautiful nutrition and dietetics students. They are graduating really soon, in less than a year. Yay. Yay. So let's start with the lady to my farthest right. We have Miss Angela Lee. Angela, where do you come from?
I'm from China.
Yes.
Even though I was born here, but I grew up in China, and I came back in 2016 for education. And I went to UC Davis for my undergrad, and then now I'm here.
Yes, we are blessed to have you here with us. And what sparked your love for nutrition?
Oh, that's a good question, because I didn't have that interest before, but when I grew up, I gradually noticed that the delicious and healthy meals my mom made us actually did a great job keeping us healthy. So I just realized how the prevention is, how important it is, and then I started to have interest in nutrition and then changed my lifestyle.
Excellent. So yay for moms, right? who make a difference in their children's upbringing.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, thank you. And next we have Miss Anud Mohammed.
Good morning.
Good morning. And where do you hail from?
Well, I was born in Jordan, in the Middle East.
Yes.
And I grew up in London, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Where I spent majority of my life, about 13 years. Yeah. And then I moved here to California, and I've been here for 10 years.
10 years. Excellent. We're so glad to have you in California.
Thank you.
All right. And, there's so many different nutrition and dietetic programs to choose from, but why Loma Linda?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Loma Linda is great. I mean, first of all, the mission and the values of Loma Linda was extremely appealing to me. Just making man whole seemed like, there's multiple ways we can really target a person or patient that can really heal them from multiple aspects. So reading the mission and value of Loma Linda was the most appealing to me. Besides, the program, the nutrition dietetics program, was very inclusive, and it had a lot of practical work and a lot of experiences that appealed to me. And I can tell you, in my third-year program, I love every minute of it. So I'm glad to be with Loma Linda.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of us.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being a part of us.
Thank you.
All right. And last but not least, we have Miss Taylor Kalinowski.
Oh, Kalinowski. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, my apologies. I know your last name. I'm just a little nervous. Okay, so Taylor, where were you born?
So I'm actually very local. I was born in Diamond Bar, California.
Yeah.
So it's about 40 miles from here towards LA.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And once you have RDN by your name, what would be a first ideal job for you?
So my first ideal job would be to work in the clinical setting in the hospital, just to solidify my foundation of medical nutrition therapy that I've learned. But then after that, I would want to move on to working in the field of eating disorders. That's my ultimate goal.
Yes. I love your vision.
Thank you.
So great. All right, ladies, let's get to your topic.
Let's do it.
So yes, my first question is, what are proteins and what do they do?
Well, proteins are one of the three macronutrients besides carbohydrates and fats.
Yes.
Proteins provide about 4 calories per gram when consumed, and they provide our essential amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein.
Correct.
There are multiple functions, and I'm just going to mention a few that are very important.
Yes.
Proteins are a component of our cell membranes. So we have a membrane in our cells which lets substances in and out of the cell. And protein is an integral part of our cell membranes. They're also a component of our transport proteins, such as hemoglobin or albumin, which carries nutrients across our body, which is very essential, which is oxygen is one of them. So
true.
by that, you know that proteins are very essential. Structurally, protein is part of, collagen, keratin, which is in our nails, our skin, our hair, as well as our muscles and bones. So it's really all over our body.
Yeah.
And it is also very essential for wound healing and for tissue regeneration. So really, protein is really important everywhere in our body.
In more ways than one,
Yes,
like you
absolutely.
just explained. So thank you.
Yep.
And so I'm sure somebody out there might be thinking, so what is a complete protein?
So a complete protein is a protein that contains all 9 essential amino acids. And so what makes these amino acids essential is the fact that our bodies do not make them. So therefore, we need to get them from the diet.
Okay. So then why is it important to consume complete proteins?
As Taylor mentioned, the consuming complete proteins provide us all the essential amino acids that our body does not produce.
True.
So it helps with our repairing tissues and our immunity, because it repair our tissues such as our skin, our nails, and our hair. It improves immunity by producing antibodies. So consuming complete proteins is really important to make sure our body has a good psychological process to make it smooth, like run smooth. And also meat is a complete protein, but consuming a plant-based or vegetarian diet does not always offer complete proteins. So that's why we're emphasizing this concept.
Yes, yeah, very, very important. Thank you. So then, speaking along the lines of vegetarians, please speak to both lacto-ovo and 100% plant-based. What are the misconceptions of protein for those groups?
Oh, there are many misconceptions. I'm going to mention 3 of them.
Okay.
And just go a little bit of detail into those. So the first misconception is that only animal products provide proteins, which is not entirely true, but there's some adjustments to that rule. So animal proteins and plant proteins provide protein. However, there's a very distinct difference between the two, which is the bioavailability of a protein that we get from animal products versus plant products. So when you're eating an animal product, you're getting 100% of, or I want to say very close to 100% from the protein you're getting from that product.
Right.
Whereas a plant protein, you're not getting 100%, you're getting way less than that.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is animals, they have muscles, whether it's a mammal or a fish or a chicken, they have their protein in their muscles, and our body can really utilize this protein. And just to clarify what bioavailability is our ability to actually utilize the protein from these products. So our bodies are able to use that protein from animal products way more than from plant products. So for vegetarians or plant-based individuals, we recommend that they consume more of the plant products to meet the same requirements that they're getting from animal products. So person consuming plant protein will need more. So the amount and the combination, which we'll talk about later on in a demo and in a bit, the combination of plant proteins and the amount of plant proteins matters. So to address this misconception, there's a lot of education that goes into that, just telling people how much to eat and what to eat in order to get the requirement. The second misconception is that plant proteins are not appetizing and vegetarian meals are not tasty, which I beg to differ. There's a lot of combinations and a lot of bold spices that you can use for making your meal bolder and tastier. For example, different cooking methods or different spices or marinades can really make a vegetarian meal or a completely vegan meal way more appealing and tasty. And just yesterday I had a salad and I added pecans and cranberries to it, and it just really uplifted the whole dish. So you can really add many things to your dish to make it tasty. The last misconception is that you don't get enough protein from a plant-based meal, which there are many options to add into a meal, such as legumes or tofu, hummus. There's a lot of nuts and seeds you can add to a meal to really make your meal protein rich. So we will be going through those in our food demo as well, so we'll be able to showcase it.
Yes, okay. So, there's that documentary called What the Hell? And there was this scene in which this doctor was saying, oh, yeah, everything has protein in it.
Right.
So what's misleading about that in tying it to what you just shared? Because he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's in everything. So that's the thing about these food documentaries. They give you truth, but what is misleading about that?
Well, yes, you can get your protein from plants. And I forgot to mention, which you just reminded me, for the plant proteins, let's say, they are the structure of plants. The protein is bound to fibers, which our body cannot digest. So then that's why, when you just say, you can eat plant proteins and get all the protein you need, yeah, you can. But we should really emphasize the fact that these proteins are not, because they're bound to fiber and we can't digest fiber, they're most likely to be excreted out of our body.
Good point.
Yes. And because the animal proteins, we don't have fiber in animal proteins, so our body can really just use it readily.
Beautiful.
So when we talk to the public and when we educate people, we need to really stress the fact that the source of this protein is essential, and how your body uses it is essential. So the same amount from an animal and a plant are not really used by our bodies the same exact way.
Yes, thank you. Beautifully explained and said. So is it necessary to pair proteins in the same meal, the amino acids? Is it really, a must?
So past research suggested that it was necessary, but however, current research suggests it's actually not. And reason being is because our body stores amino acids. So as long as we're consuming a variety of plant-based proteins and enough protein, then our body will do the pairing for us.
Okay, very good. So then, what are some examples of complete plant-based proteins?
Actually, we brought some
Nice.
stuff. So this is one of the complete protein. It's soy. It's edamame.
Okay.
So it's one of the soy products.
Yes.
And this is quinoa.
Okay.
It's also a complete protein. And this is chia seeds.
Chia seeds?
Yeah, chia seeds. We're really familiar with that. And this is a hemp seeds. It's also a complete protein. Yes.
All right. Are there any nuts or peanuts? I know peanuts is more of a legume, but anything there that might be complete?
So we did our research. So the most common complete proteins are these four. And peanuts, we did our research, and that's not a complete protein.
Actually, I found that it does have all the amino acids.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we found research said that, so some research said that it's a complete protein, and some of them said it's not. So for the knowledge of public, we guarantee these are complete proteins, but we will do more research. We will dive more into peanuts, like are they
I would
complete
strongly
proteins?
say that peanuts have a good amount of, they don't have as much protein, but they are, they have all the different amino acids in there. So it's
That's
not
nice to
known
know.
a lot, but it does have a lot of arginine too, which is so helpful in producing that nitric oxide. So yeah. All right, ladies, we are so excited. Please go ahead and show us your recipes that you have for us.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so today we decided to have 3 meals showcasing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And all 3 of these meals will be a complete protein. So starting with breakfast, we have oatmeal. So here I have the oats that are cooked in almond milk. And I cooked it beforehand just for time purposes. And we're gonna add the toppings here together. So we have the oats right here. And so this will be a combination of grains and legumes. And legumes will come from the peanut butter, which is a legume. So I'll be adding the peanut butter on top of the oatmeal right here to, add protein to our meal. And then I'm gonna top it off with some fruit. So here we have bananas. Actually, before the bananas, I'm gonna add some coconut sugar for sweetness because I did not sweeten the oats beforehand. So this coconut sugar will add a nice sweetness, and it will add a nice crunch as well. I'm gonna add some cinnamon also for extra taste. And here I have some pecans, which will give us extra protein as well. So extra protein, extra crunch. It will make it a full meal that will taste really good. And now for the fruit, we have blueberries, which I'm just gonna randomly scatter them on the plate here. And we have strawberries, which will give a really nice color, a lot of vitamin C. There's a lot of fiber and a lot of health benefits to strawberries. And lastly, the bananas. So as you can see, now this is a complete protein breakfast that we can enjoy. And yeah, it showcases legumes and grains for a complete protein. All right.
Okay, welcome to the lunch part. Okay, now for the lunch, I will make a chickpea buffalo wrap. So this is an example of pairing legumes with greens. So for the greens, we have tortilla wrap. And for the legume, there's chickpea. So I'm going to introduce the ingredients starting from the salad filling. So in this filling, there is chopped cilantros, shredded carrots, and diced celery and onions, and also mashed chickpeas. So that's pre-made. And now I'm going to mix the buffalo sauce with yogurt, just trying to mix it nicely. And then I'm going to pour it into the filling. And then mix it. Actually, this is one of the dish my mom would make me because it's nutritious and has a lot of vegetables.
Right.
Yeah. Mothers always trying to give their kids as much as vegetables as they can.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to, yeah, it's mixed. And now I'm going to put it on the wrap and start to wrap it.
And there's, like Angela, there's a lot of ingredients in here that provide a lot of fiber, nutrients. There's a
Yeah.
lot of nutrients and minerals from whether it's spinach or onions or the chickpeas. So it's really loaded. It's a nutrient-dense meal for sure.
Yes. And now I'm going to add more ingredients. Some spinach to add some iron, and some onions.
That's going to give a nice crunch in there for sure.
Yeah, and more flavor. And also some avocado slice for some healthy fats. Okay, and now we're going to wrap it.
I'm hungry already, Angela.
It looks nice.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let me cut it through.
Okay.
And then it's done. So
Very pretty.
Wow, looks very nice.
And here's
Yeah.
our lunch.
All right, so now I'm gonna do the dinner portion. I mean, you can also make this recipe for lunch, but we're showcasing it for dinner. So the 2 items that I'm going to showcase that make a complete protein are here. These are legumes, so they're gonna be brown lentils, and you can cook them from scratch, or if you're short on time, you can also just buy them in the can. And then these are pumpkin seeds. So legumes and seeds. So first off, I'm going to add some butternut squash to our bowl. So I've already pre-roasted this in olive oil, some maple syrup, some different spices like cinnamon and paprika. And I might have already snuck a taste of this. It's very good. Okay. And then we're going to add some greenery, so some spinach and some arugula for some nice micronutrients and iron. And then now we just add the rest of our salad ingredients. So these brown lentils.
Wow, that's so colorful.
Yes, and then the pomegranates for some nice antioxidants. Our pumpkin seeds.
Love pumpkin seeds.
And then here is a dressing. It has olive oil, some white vinegar, some similar spices to the butternut squash. And then I'll tilt the bowl so we can see it a little better.
That looks beautiful too.
Oh,
And
that's delicious.
all this color. So we're just gonna mix it up. Excuse me, I'm making a little bit of a mess. And then we save the goat cheese for last, just to make it look pretty.
Wow.
And there we have it. That is our dinner recipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those were all of our recipes showing some complete protein combinations from plant-based proteins.
All right. Well, let me see what I can try, ladies.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So we have some tasting plates for you
Ooh,
over
yes.
there.
Oh, wow.
If you like some more sweetness, you can add some more coconut sugar.
Oh my. Okay, so we're starting off with breakfast.
Yes.
This looks so beautiful with the strawberries and the blueberries. This is really sticking for
Yeah,
now,
sorry.
but it's all good.
It's all the fiber.
It's all fiber. Why not? Fiber is such a good thing. The peanut butter in here.
Yes, really lifts every dish. Personally, I love peanut butter.
It sure does, yes. Wow. So it really gives that extra kick of protein
Yes.
right there. Love it. Okay, so then I can just keep adding to my plate.
Yes, please do.
You can have a wrap, actually.
Oh, the wrap. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
The beautiful wrap. Okay. Let's see. It's so lovely. I don't want to take a bite and ruin it.
No, please do. Lots of flavor, huh?
You nailed it. So savory. It just transports you to a whole different world.
Right. Right.
Love it.
All right, good.
And last but not least.
I'll serve you up some.
Oh, well, thank you.
So
Yeah.
and you can always have more later.
Oh,
as well.
yes. Okay, look at this.
There we go.
It is packed with so many.
There's your fork.
Yes,
Yes.
there is the fork. My, oh, my. So tell us about goat cheese. I know that's not a plant-based source, but for lacto-ovo vegetarians, that would be a good source.
It is. So it's a dairy product. It's a complete protein. So it's filled with calcium. Yeah, it's a great source.
So without the goat cheese, it would still be a complete protein meal.
Yes.
But then when you add goat cheese, even more, even
more.
better, right?
Wow, the flavor too
Yes.
is amazing.
We're glad you like it.
Oh, I do. Okay, so ladies, what are other examples of complete protein pairings?
Well, there is, let's see if, for example, bean soup with crackers.
There
Here
you go.
you're combining
Yes.
beans with grains, peanut butter and toast, which is very
yeah.
popular. A lot
There
of
you
people
go.
like it. You're adding grains with legumes.
Or for those with a peanut allergy, you could do the toast and almond butter. You can use all different types of butters.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Good call.
Rice and beans, which is
Yes.
very popular. I always do that when I'm like in a rush. I just add rice and some beans, and there's a complete protein.
Yeah.
So there's really a lot of combinations that make our diet much more exciting, and you
Yes.
can still have it plant-based and vegetarian without the addition of any animal products.
Okay, so true. So that's all good, which is great, which I love. What are some of the concerns that we would think about just being 100% plant-based? Are there some nutrients that we might be very concerned about in like 2 minutes?
Right.
Can we talk about that?
There's vitamin B12, which almost only comes from animal sources, but if you add some nutritional yeast on top of your food, that is a great source of B12 that's also vegan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good one. What else? There's lots of fiber here, and which is great, but what can it actually affect?
Yeah, so the fiber, basically, it can transport out some of the nutrients and some of the protein, as Anud was saying. So basically, it can kind of displace some of the nutrients that we're intaking.
So
So that's why Anud had emphasized to eat more protein than you would think you would actually need.
Correct. Way more.
Yes.
Way more than what you normally would if you eat animal products.
So that your body actually absorbs the proper amount.
So true. And then if they eat more, but then we are also concerned about, okay, we're going to increase our fiber intake. So what's another nutrient that we would then be concerned about if we had too much fiber?
Iron. Yes.
Bingo.
Iron would be a concern because a lot of fiber will make our body absorb less of the iron because a lot of it will be excreted out of the body.
Yeah.
So yes, there's possibilities of getting protein from a completely plant-based diet, but really it's a variety of the diet. So I mean, adding a lot of ingredients in your dishes will allow you to get iron from multiple places, and also just supplementation, if there's a deficiency for iron, might be something that some people may consider if it fits for their physical needs. And I mean, that's it.
And so what can help with the iron absorption? Because iron in a 100% plant-based diet, it's not the same as the iron in animal products. So what can people do?
So for example, say we have spinach here that has iron. So in the dressing, for that acidity, we could mix in some lemon juice for some vitamin C. And so vitamin C helps us absorb our iron.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we just have a few more seconds left. What other nutrient are we also concerned about if the individual is just consuming 100% plant-based?
There's the iron.
Think bones, teeth.
Yeah, calcium.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So what can those on a plant-based diet do?
Well, if they're not consuming any dairy products, there's a lot of calcium in broccoli and bok choy. There's a lot of calcium in vegetables as well. So just if you are deficient in calcium and you're really looking for sources of calcium, there's a lot of vegetables that can provide that as well.
Yeah, true. So there's a balance that has to take place. So it's really best to work with a registered dietitian to help you with those deficiencies, but it can be done. Thank you so much for joining us here on Chat and Chew. Until next time.